Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Creatives of Windsor podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Sherdown, and today I'm sitting down with local artist and poet who is currently the host of Toast Open Mic Poetry, Emily Rowe.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I've been excited to have you on. It's been like a few weeks now, so yeah, it's great. I guess what I want to start with is let's talk about you and your art and things. What would you say your primary medium is?
That's such a good question. It starts with, I guess, the concept of a sketchbook, because I do pocket poems, and that's kind of my main focus, and that has spilled over to performance and spoken word and poetry and hosting and whatnot. But it all starts with a sketchbook and a pen and paper, and I make my little sketchbooks, and I do my thing.
Because you do the visual art side,
yes.
And so let's break it into two then. The visual side, are you drawing? Are you painting? What are you doing?
I'm a multimedia artist. I love traditional and digital fine art and combining the two sometimes. So I have formal training in digital print photography and all of that, and then illustration and Photoshop. So many things. I'm also a painter. And also I do fiber art, so crochet and installation pieces. I do it all, I guess.
That's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, I decided poetry is another thing I needed to add to the list.
When did you start doing poetry?
I've always been a writer, so I've always journaled, and I found that automatic writing process, even really early as a kid, just letting things down on paper, and as a result, and having fine arts practice, the concept of poetry wasn't as intimidating, because when I was younger, I was like, oh, poetry has so many rules. They have to rhyme. Everyone who says these things sounds so smart. But then with my fine arts background being just approach it and just explore and just no rules, make your own rules, that attitude, plus I've already been journaling for most of my life. It just, the two and two kind of came together in a moment where I felt like I couldn't visually describe what I wanted to express. I'm a very expressive person. I need art in order to function.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So I don't know. It just happened. I've been really full gear into poetry for 2 years now. Cool. Starting writing, and then I hopped on the Toast open mic stage really early into my writing poetry, and then Courtney, who hosted at the time, approached me I want to say even just a couple months later, barely. Wow. They're like, I see you got something here. And I was like, I guess I do. I keep showing up with new stuff and,
So you didn't start reading publicly until 2 years ago?
Yeah, February 2 years ago.
So February 23?
Yes.
And then when did you start hosting?
Well, I officially got the full reins of Toast it's almost been a year. So May 2024, Courtney passed it off to me officially. But before that, it was September 2023. So I started in February 2023, started co-hosting, where we would, 1 month it was me, next month it was her, kind of passing it. And she was kind of introducing me to the idea of hosting more and being more comfortable with that. And yeah, and then she left for an out-of-town job, and then it was all me after that. So
it seems like it's been going well. Your social media, your Instagram looks really good. Who's doing are you doing all the posts and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, Toast Open Mic Poetry official on Facebook and Toast Open Mic Poetry on Instagram. I got the reins, and I think of the prompts, do the posters, figure out the dates, contact people, all that stuff.
And you do the, you come up with the themes for every month too?
Yeah, what I call prompts. It's I don't want people to think that that's you have to follow it, but it's more like an idea, a suggestion,
Okay, so people can go up. So if this, what was this month? What was yesterday's?
Yeah, so yesterday we had Toast, and thankfully you were in the audience, and I love that you're there. There's so many amazing friends and family even last night for celebrating poetry. But yes, yesterday was a withering enjambments.
Now, what does that mean? See, this is why poetry is so foreign. I love it, and I love going to listen, and I'm like, wow, this is really good, but I have no idea where it starts.
Right. I've been coming up with I have a formula for my prompts, so I have an abstract word plus a poetic term. And after so long, I can't keep using haiku. Everyone knows what a haiku is, so I got to start getting abstract here. But yeah, to explain withering and jam mints, like I said, hosting, it was, people said, is this English? And I was like, we'll find out. But withering is just an old word for saying like strong winds. And then it sounded very poetic, so I was like, I have to use this. And then enjambments is a poetic term where, for example, it's just a continuous line, no pauses. So when you say roses are red, violets are blue, there's that pause.
Yeah.
Enjambment is saying roses are red, violets are blue, essentially.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the theme, but again, you said like people don't have to stick to that type of poetry if they don't want to. They can still read that week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more just a creative exercise to like learn a new poetic term and then kind of incorporating it later into your practice once you kind of know the term and you kind of, it's like a homework assignment. Cool. Yeah, it also helps narrow things down because I know a lot of people have shared with me they have so many poems they've like written throughout the years, and like it's kind of like hard to like really pick. And then in the summertime, I had like a sun theme, and someone was like, "I literally have this word in a poem. I'm gonna pick this poem now," because it helps kind of eliminate the thought process of having to pick.
It seems like every poet they'll read like 2 to 5 poems usually, right? Mm-hmm. So do you find that some people will like do like 1 or 2 to fit the theme, and then maybe like 1 or 2 that don't, or do you think they kind of
here or there? I mean, I honestly break the rules sometimes too. I have a theme that I tell people to do, and then in my mind, I'm like, oh, amplified, I'm gonna go an entirely different direction. Like I will just people can do whatever they want with it. Some people, so there's some people who stick to every theme, like they follow it every time, and I love those kind of people. There's people who ignore it every time, and it doesn't matter. I love it anytime. The poets on stage, they share so many different poetic devices and different subject matter, and their voice it's all unique and different, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
That's awesome. Do you read every single month?
Yeah. Surprisingly, I keep having new stuff to write every time. It's shocking. And Toast Open Mic Poetry, when someone says they have something new to share, we all shout "new shit," and it's hilarious, and it feels good.
When did that start?
Oh, this is an old tradition that that has been a part of Toast. Toast is very old. Talking to a former host, Benny, about it, I realized Toast is a lot older than I thought it was. Toast might be able to drive, guys. Like, I swear, like Benny had it 2013, he first had it.
Okay.
And that's when I thought it started. But there was like Tamara, another host, and then another host, and it was originally called Juice. Okay. So I literally scheduled a coffee meeting with Tamara to get the facts right. Like, I need the facts.
You already had this meeting?
No, I'm scheduling it as we speak, because I need to know the lore, because Toast is like rich of like these inside jokes and reoccurring poets who've performed. I have one poet, Less is More, who's been like first to start the night for like 10 years. Like
every month?
Yes. And that's what that's what I love about that community, is that it's so strong, you know? Yeah. It's been there for so long, and yeah.
Is it at Fog every month? Always been at Fog?
I feel like when Benny was talking to me last night, there was a time where it wasn't, but then I think when Toast was the name, then it was at Fog. Okay. Like there was a transitional point, but it's been at Fog for a very, very long time. Like definitely 2013 onward, okay. I would say confidently. I remember going in like 2016 or 15 and seeing Benny host that. He hosted for a while, right? Yeah, like 7 years.
Okay. Yeah, because I felt like that was kind of like his thing for a long time. Like you just would like stumble in and like kind of stumble upon it. So this month, so is it in 3 weeks then?
This next upcoming one?
Yeah, like is it going to be on the 3rd Thursday of April?
We usually try to do that, yeah. So this month was the 4th Thursday, which sometimes happens with scheduling, but no problem at all. But yeah, usually 3rd Thursday, so our next one's April 17th.
17th.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look, I already have it written in my calendar.
Perfect.
Because I've been wanting to go, but I had to see if it was last week, I had to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday we just stumbled in and it was on. So that's really nice. But because I had to miss it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go in April. So I already have it written down. So that's good.
Oh, perfect.
That's a medium that's like so foreign to me but I really enjoy it. I like art forms that you don't participate in at all and are just a fan of. Like, it's kind of nice, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, especially me with music. Like, I do perform on stage with poetry, but I'm always, like, glad seeing musicians with their instruments, and I don't have to worry about that if they do, and it sounds great.
Do you play any instruments or no?
I've slapped the bass, quite literally, and that is it. My mom was like, what the hell is that noise?
That's funny. You went to the university. You have a degree in fine arts?
Yeah, so I have an undergrad in fine arts and a master's of business at the University of Windsor.
Nice.
Which is a weird combo. No one has in a while has had that combo before, because when I did my master's, everyone was like, wait, what? Excuse me? I'm like, mm-hmm.
So in that program, do you just get to kind of do everything art-wise? Like, what was some of the stuff you got to do?
Well, so the first year I went 2016 to 2021. So I had the opportunity to be at LaBelle, the old building, and then move to the Armories downtown location. Cool. So that experience in itself was amazing. But in the first year or second year of art, you kind of have you get everything. You have to do the sculpture, you have to do painting, drawing, video, editing, whatnot. And then, of course, as you go progress into your fourth year, you kind of specialize. And so I ended up working jobs throughout. So I kind of spaced out my undergrad and then started working. And that's where I did TA for photography, and then helped run the professor's digital print lab, and eventually the DPL, digital print lab at the university afterwards. But during schooling, the fourth year was like studio-based, so project-based, and I focused on performance pieces, installation, and also fiber art with the professor, Catherine Hurd, who specialized in fiber arts and community engagement. So I set up a little installation piece, and it was also sonic samples from the internet, and I was like performing, but I was still. Like, it was very much the opposite of what I do at poetry.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That must be fun to try all those different things, right?
Oh yeah, performance, I guess, is like now like getting into poetry and hosting. Like, I don't know, performance and community engagement are very integral to my art practice. I really love holding like space and like having that message to share, whether it's really artsy and abstract, like when in my undergrad, versus poetry, which seems a lot more accessible, which is one thing I would like to say about poetry, is that in my fine arts experience, there's a lot of people who couldn't connect because they're not visual artists. So they kind of have a wall, or the idea of fine arts or the museum is very like hoity-toity, like a high, I don't know. Some people have certain judgments, which I totally get. But poetry is more accessible. Like, when I say poetry, a lot more people like connect way more than if I started off by saying I'm an artist, a visual artist. Uh-huh. If I say I'm a poet, immediately 80%, 90% of people are like connected.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Would you say that poetry is the work you're making the most right now? Like, are you doing more poems than anything else? Or...
Yeah, so I mean, I have these little like pocket poem books. So I make these books, and then I do the cover. So I like design them, and then there's little doodles in the pages, and then there's my poems that I perform. So it's like the whole experience is still visual art or documentation and poetry, and then also performance later. So I have to combine everything. So
you're always just kind of like working in that and just kind of like doing whatever you feel in there?
Oh yeah, this is it's been like a weird, like almost like a mini journal, where it's like I don't have to over explain or like the context of things. I can just be really abstract in my writing and perform it without, I don't know, it's my sanctuary. You know, those little pocket poems, I don't know. That's cool. I like stuff like that. I like when people have like their own weird kind of like practice. Yeah. It's inspiring for, because everybody has like their own way that they do things, I guess. Mm-hmm. So since you were talking about photography, now I'm interested. So what were you doing in this print lab, and like what kind of stuff were you doing when you were in school with that? Yeah, so I worked mainly with Professor Sindra McDowell in their personal studio where we helped develop a project where I helped select, edit, and print a series called Canoe Lake, which was in Algonquin, Muskoka area, with people in canoes. It was actually very fascinating.
Did you shoot it or were you just like printing it?
Sindra had like a 10-year photo collection. I had to sort through everything and like select the ones, and like they were telling me what their vision was, and I helped curate and then edit because with printing, having vests like life jackets or signs or canoes, like they're very highly visible, but you can't print them right because they're like, I forget the term. They plateau, like the color plateaus because it's so neon. Like the printer can't print this neon color, so you have to tone it down to get the colors right. Like there was so much of that going on.
I don't do my own printing, but like I know there's like little things that you need to do like that when you're printing. Printing is like its whole other art form.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. And printer maintenance, and I was IT, I was everything.
That's a big reason why I don't have a printer is I feel like I don't print enough volume to have a big printer. Because if you're not like running prints through it every couple of days, like the ink dries up and then it gets all messed up. So yeah, you have to print a lot.
You do.
Which is a pain. But I know that there's people that are literally just darkroom printers and they're not even really photographers. Like they just make darkroom prints of other photographers' work for like museums and stuff, which is really cool.
That is so cool. That's one thing in art school I didn't end up diving into deep was analog photography. I'm like purely digital photography, but I would have loved to like, explore that or connect with an artist who like you said, does that kind of thing. That's cool.
Yeah. Like analog photography and digital photography is so different. Like there's so many different, like the process is so crazy different. It's wild. But it's very interesting.
Yeah. It's funny how, digital photography takes things from analog photography, like, and then we kind of forget the origins of it, like dodging and burning. Like in Photoshop, I'm dodging and burning, but like it's because of the analog techniques that I'm kind of like replicating, which is interesting.
Yeah, like, well, the main thing that you edit photos in is Lightroom, and that's called that because you're doing it on a computer and you can do it in the light, and you're doing the same thing you would do in a dark room. But even like cropping, like that was like a real like thing that you would have to do physically before. And yeah, dodging and burning is like that's the really cool one. I know that there's others that I can't think of right now, but
yeah, right. I could definitely, once it's in front of me, I will know a lot more.
I heard that there's this thing you can like print a digital photo on like this I don't know, I guess I'll say paper, and it's almost like a negative. And then you can darkroom print your digital photo because you printed it off as a negative on like a clear see-through like paper.
I was going to ask, is it clear? Because I've seen that before.
Which is really cool. And the quality is probably very high because you can make, I don't know, that's a really weird process because like the sensor on a camera is this big. And then if you print it on that paper, like 8.5 by, or even 8 by 10, you've just stretched it already, so it's not like an 8 by 10 negative, but you're printing it in a dark room like it is an 8 by 10 negative. So that's very weird. I wonder how that would work out. Right. But yeah, no, I love that analog. Like like everything is like correct. Like people always wonder, like they'll ask me like, can I get an 8 by 10 print of this? And I was like, no, you can't print that as an 8 by 10. And they're like, why? I was like, well, you'll cut off everybody's head. And they're like, well, can't you crop it? And I'm like, no, like it's not to that aspect ratio. It's to 8 by 12 aspect ratio. That's how you don't have to crop it. And then nobody understands. And I'm like, no, because like the back of a camera sensor like is an actual size. Like I know it's on a computer, but it's an actual size. Like, yeah, it's funny. What's really funny to me is, and then I'll get back into asking you things. But like the sizes that you hear, like 8 by 10, 11 by 14, those haven't been like typical camera sensor sizes for so long. And it's still like the general's framing size, which I don't know why they've never changed it.
Wow, I didn't know that. So what is the ratio?
So nowadays? Like my photos, my general sizes, I do 10 by 15. Not 11 by 14. And then you don't have to crop it. I do 8 by 12. Instead of 16 by 20, I do, I don't do that one that much. I think it's 15 by 21. 4 by 6 is the actual size. So it is 4 by 6 and it is 5 by 7. But yeah, it's not 8 by 10. 8 by 10, you have to crop.
Wow, I learned something new. That makes sense though. Wow. I usually like to have like borders. Like when I was younger, I didn't like the borders in framing and photography, but nowadays I'm like, no, more space is better. Yeah. Like I'm a fan of that.
I like it too. I never used to like it either. And then I kind of started doing it a little bit. And sometimes I'll fake it like in that one where it's just like printed.
Oh yeah.
And then sometimes I'll actually do a mat like that one where it's like actually a cut mat board. I don't know.
We faked it all the time when I was printing photos.
Sometimes you can't tell from like further back, but then,
Yeah, it does look cleaner when it's framed properly though. Definitely.
Yeah, like when it's like actually on a mat board.
Yeah.
Also, then you don't have to, I don't know, if you're doing more than one, you definitely have to do a real one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. See, that's the nice thing about like using a mat is for that one, because it's like the scan of the film, like it was to that aspect ratio, but I wanted it in that frame. So I had to do a mat. Fit it in the frame. But yeah, printing was a weird thing.
Apologies to everyone who cannot see the photos on the wall. They're very beautiful.
I'm sorry. Okay, so do you like, I was on your website and your Instagram, and I've seen that like you do photography from time to time. What would you say like the type of like what, I don't know, how would you classify it? Like what genre would you put it in?
The type of photography I take? So a series that pops in my mind is called Waste of Time, where I took pictures of watches and then I added a layer with food and I photoshopped that. And then I took photos of like billboard spaces and like imposed like this fake advertisement of the food and the watches, cool. Commenting on advertising and the absurdity of it sometimes. And it's funny how recent trends I've seen like fashion collabs playing with food, but they're selling clothing, which is very interesting. So I was like, hey, I was on the nose with this one. But anyways, my point being, I really like a lot of layers and like Photoshop is like my bread and butter. I love Photoshop. Like, I don't know, I can get so lost in it and I love the exploratory process and learning new things. So yeah, it's taking multiple photographs and like having them like together to be like existing. So it's not really a photograph. I don't know a digital collage, you might say.
Yeah, you're just using photography to like get the original content and then you're doing it all in Photoshop after.
Yeah,
That's
essentially.
Cool. What kind of camera do you use to like take the pictures?
So I am a person who has equipment that they purchased in high school and has not replaced yet. I have like an old Nikon D3100, something like that. 3200,
I think, or no?
Maybe. I mean, it's 15 years old.
Okay.
It's kind of old. And I'm a type of person where I like to approach work where I don't need to have those gadgets, all those fancy gigamabobs. I mean, quite literally, I like make my sketchbooks like with cardboard and paper and a stapler. Like, so I come from like, what is the materials I have with me at reach and how can I create things with it? I'm never like, oh, I wish I had like the best equipment because then I can't make art without it. Like, I want to make art like regardless of like materials I use.
Yeah, I feel like the simpler process is always what people kind of go back to. It's easier. Like, because I do photography as a business, I have all the gear, but when I'm shooting for my personal work, I use like the most simple, basic setup. Like it's, I go to a shoot and I have like 10 lenses and flashes and lights and all this stuff. And then I'll go on a trip and I'll bring like one camera with a fixed 35mm lens and like, that's it. Boom, the whole time.
Yeah. There's kind of a creative process when it comes to limiting yourself. You find very interesting solutions that way that are, definitely, I think, unique and stand out.
Yeah. Cause I can focus on the picture, not everything else. Like you just keep it easy. It's funny when I'm shooting for personal work too, I set on like semi-manual. Like it's not even like when I'm doing like work, it's always full manual just because like, I don't know, things are always changing and moving fast. But when I'm shooting just for me, like I don't even want to think about camera settings. Like, so I'll set, like I usually just shoot on, I don't know, what would it be? Shutter priority. So I'll set my ISO on my shutter and then just let the aperture do whatever it wants. I don't really care. And that's how I do my personal work.
Oh, nice.
It's just nice. I can just shoot. I can just walk and shoot. I don't have to do anything else.
Exactly.
Just compose.
Yeah, so you usually do more like candid street photography, you'd say?
Yeah, I would say for the last like 3 or 4 years, like the main focus of my personal work has been contemporary work. So just like contemporary landscapes. So just like everyday scenes, but like ones that stand out a little bit, you know? Just
Definitely.
like playing with the sun and this, not the sun, and just kind of just, I love photo walks. Just like banging out an hour to an hour and a half and just shooting the whole time. And then, you know, chilling, like getting a coffee or a beer or something. And then, yeah, I usually only like, I do this work when I'm at home too. I try to go out like once every like week or two and go for a nice walk. But a lot of the time it's when I'm traveling. So I'll go somewhere for a whole week and then just like do 3 or 4 sessions a day and get really tired. But yeah, just kind of the one focus for me pretty much is always just like revolves around photography. So it's cool to hear that like you just do a million different things.
Yeah, sometimes my friends and family cannot keep up. They don't know what I'm doing. But photography has been great, but poetry, I meant, has kind of been that anchor point for me for the past 2 years. And I feel like with the traction and how everything's been picking up, it's going to stick around and kind of be that factor in a lot of my decisions and creative process moving forward, I would imagine.
Where do you find your inspiration from? Like, do you have like favorite poets? Like,
So I was talking about this last night, actually. It's funny. Actually, like, who's inspired me poetically the most is musicians. Like, I used to love as a kid, like, reading the lyrics off songs, and I used to write them down, which is funny now I think about it. That was kind of me, like, almost getting there with the poetry. But Fiona Apple and Mitski are, like, to me, I don't know, they provide such, like, complexity with their words, and it makes me feel in a type of way that makes me be like, damn, I have to pick up a pen and start writing my own feelings down.
do you read a lot of poetry?
Well, definitely. Social media shows me on my feed like poems to read, and the local community has poem books that they've had, and I've had the honor to purchase and read myself. And then in like little bookstores that have like a Juniper books.
Yep.
They have some old poetry books, and I've been like gifted me books too. And yeah, so time to time I do find inspiration reading that. But another inspiration is this one book I reference a lot, which is called I'm trying to remember. It's a long title. Women's Encyclopedia. The Encyclopedia of Women's Myths and Secrets, which is like, it's a book from like 1980.
Okay.
But it's like literally an encyclopedia, alphabetical order. And it has like, I just flipped to like a random word, like Cinderella. It'll tell me the story, a lore about Cinderella, or the lore of something I wish I brought this book. Or like, I guess one of them, I wrote a poem about a fig tree, and there was info about the fig and how it appeared in mythology and history, and but centered around women. And so that's kind of helped me take historic symbols and histories and weave it into my own poetry, because like there's so much like nuggets of information in this book. I reference it so much for inspiration.
What would you say, like, the type of poetry you write? Like, how would you classify it? Like, what, you know?
Well, I approach it from like an automatic writing point of view, where I kind of just like throw up a poem, which is like, it's like my writing process does not take long. It's usually when I'm on stage performing, I'm like almost pretty much performing the first draft, if not like a little bit of tweaks here and there. But yeah, I would say my poetry sometimes does not rhyme, and sometimes the enjambments happen naturally where I'm just continuously like run on sentence. But yeah, it's basically very free-form contemporary, I would say, in terms of like I don't follow the traditional rules in old school poetry. I don't sound like someone from 1980s, unfortunately, who sounds so academic and proper. It's not me. I'm more spoken word and almost like theatrical. Like I really like speaking and how I say the poems. Like I Amy Winehouse it every time. It's gonna sound different, a little bit different every time.
That's cool. Do you read a lot of like novels? Like, or do you ever? I guess not. I guess that's my next question. This question would be, do you write things that aren't poems? Like, do you ever just write like short stories or anything like that?
So I still keep up my journaling practice, and I've written a lot there. So it's like based in reality. So it's about my life and like my feelings, and I'm my jokes. I sometimes try to be funny with it. I when I read back, I start laughing. So I know if I'm writing for me, for my own audience, but I have the creative practice. It's that practice of constantly writing that will help me. And quite easily, I do want to publish books in the future. And I do have enough content and stories in my personal life to make not a complete nonfiction. So I might kind of skew some names and some facts around, but I have definitely enough content for like 3 good books.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you like to read a lot? Well, you were talking to my wife about books last night, weren't you?
Yeah, so my friend Alexandra Seri, got to give a shout out to her. She recently published a book, a hockey romance. And yeah, so I've been around creative people. My sister also likes to dabble in writing. And yeah, Alex is amazing, and she's also an inspiration for me in just getting your story out and like having your voice and yeah, just like making art happen, making books happen.
What do you like to read? Like, do you read a lot?
Yeah, I mostly I finished Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations recently. So I like nonfiction, but about people, like either creative people or people who've done like who have an interesting story. I love reading their life, and because I find life has so much, like people's personal stories have so much interesting nuggets. I do appreciate fiction, but there's something about nonfiction or like someone sharing their story that like I find it makes life so much more like special. Like I really appreciate life, and with fiction, I appreciate the story. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah. So No Reservations, and then I just recently finished Medium Raw, which was his other book, and he's had a couple others. But he's a great writer, so he actually is kind of an inspiration to me too. He's a writer and a cook. Anthony Bourdain is the best.
That's cool. Like I like to read a lot of like semi-autobiographical fiction.
Right. Yes.
Which is like Hunter S. Thompson or like Jack Kerouac, like classics like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And those are really cool because like they're their stories, but you know they might have like switched them up a little bit.
That's kind of what I mean when I say that's the word I was looking for. That's kind of how I would write my books in that way. So you read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I loved, I have an edition where it has the drawings as well as the words.
Does mine? I think mine does too.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to my book's going to do that too.
I'm checking if it's on that shelf or if it's in my shelf inside. I think it's on my shelf inside. But I'm looking at the Rum Diaries, which is my favorite Hunter S. Thompson book. It's a novel, not, it's still kind of him though. Like the guy's a writer. Like the main character is a writer. Mm-hmm. Johnny Depp did a movie of that too in 2011. And the cast is absolutely stacked with like 5 A-list celebrities. And the movie is like a super indie movie and it's not very popular, but it's obviously really good because it has like Johnny Depp's in it, Amber Heard's in it, because that's probably like right when they started like their relationship together. I don't even know the other people's names. The one guy from Batman's in it. Giovanni Ribsby's in it. Who's like Phoebe's brother and friends. So it's like a very stacked cast. And it's really good. Have you read that book or no?
No, I need to definitely read it now.
It's good. Have you read Jack Kerouac's books or no?
Like remind me.
On the Road is like his biggest book.
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
That one's really good. His other ones, see, this is the thing. Like those books are really good and they're inspiring, but sometimes they're like, Hunter S. Thompson's not that bad, but sometimes they're like slower reads. Like, you know, they're like, they can be boring. Like a lot of these people, like both of them and what's his name? Who wrote The Sun Also Rises, who moved to Cuba. Oh my God.
I know who you're talking about.
I can never think of people's names on the podcast. It's like a podcast thing. Very famous writer, one of the most famous writers of all time. Hemingway. Right? No. Podcast. I'm gonna look this up. Yeah, Hemingway. So like Hemingway, Kerouac, Hunter S. Thompson, they're all like lunatics. Like they're all like crazy alcoholics or semi-drug, like they're really into drugs, alcohol. So like sometimes their books are like very rambly. because they're probably drunk or high when they wrote the book. So sometimes that's hard to follow. Whereas like a fiction book, like my wife got me reading some fiction books, and oh my God, you can read a book in like, you know, I don't know. I'm a very slow reader, but like 8 or 10 hours instead of like 20 hours or something like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, those books that you mentioned earlier, like reminds me of, have you read Naked Lunch? That is such a weird book. So it's, I forget the guy's name, but he's from the, is it the Beat Movement?
Yeah, that's what Kerouac started that.
Essentially, Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, definitely. So you said lunatics. I was like, let me give you like the classic lunatic, which is the guy who wrote Naked Lunch. What's his name? If you Google it, definitely.
Is it? I think I know. I'm gonna know who it is. Yeah, Burroughs.
Yes.
So he's in On the Road.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So On the Road, when it originally, so it was written in like the adventure takes place in like the late 40s, but the book didn't come out till like 57. But the original, everybody's names changed. So his name is, now I'm trying to think of his character's name, which I can't even think of people's names right now. But anyway, yeah, he's in, but then there's a version of On the Road with all the people's real names. It's a better read because they're like all famous people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good to know. That's a book I need to pick up.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of those, like that type of writing, that slow writing and like the state of mind is kind of sometimes not there. I find those very interesting reads. With Naked Lunch, you can literally flip to any part and start reading it. You don't need to start right away. You really don't. It's wild. It's such a weird book. But he was basically like breaking, like it was not a commercial book. Like no one could, it was so weird and different, but it like inspired so much people. Well, because it also got banned. So everyone was like, I have to read this book.
I was going to say, was it banned? Was it a banned
Yeah,
book?
it definitely was banned. But I think it inspired people in the punk movement to like make music that was like, hey, this is not going to sound great, but you're going to love it.
Yeah, like a big part of like the hippie movement, like in the late 1960s, like they were all inspired by beat writers and like beat people, you know. That's kind of where it comes from. The Bob Dylan movie just came out. Have you seen it yet?
No. Is it worth it?
I haven't seen it yet either. I've been like waiting for like a good night to watch it because like, you know, I really want to watch it. But he was really close with Allen Ginsberg, who was like really good friends with Jack Kerouac and was just like a big person in the beat area, who's also a poet. Very famous poet. But I haven't really read much of his stuff because it's kind of rambly. But no, it's like everything I have read from that stuff has always been really good. But
oh my God, yeah, they'd all succeed in yesterday's prompt with Enjambments, all of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Actually, is it Dharma Bums, which is another Kerouac book? They go to some poetry readings in that. Some
cool.
of Allen Ginsberg's poems are in the book. That's a good one too.
Nice.
That's an easier read. The more like the most popular books are easy reads, and then the more obscure you get through their discography, they get like crazier. Yeah.
What a journey.
But those people are always so interesting to me, you know?
I agree. Yeah. They're just literally like just saying it all and some more.
And they all died in like crazy ways. Like Hunter S. Thompson killed himself. I think Hemingway killed himself. Jack Kerouac died at like in his 40s from drinking too much. Neil Cassidy's another one who like, I think he like passed out near some train tracks in the middle of Mexico and died of hypothermia because he was like leaving a wedding and he was all drunk or something. So yeah, they all have like crazy, but legends have to die in a crazy way, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, like you know, that's kind of how that's the rule. Okay, what is in this book? Is it private or no?
I brought two. So I drew these little collage and drew this. But
you drew that. I love that kind of.
Yeah, American traditional. I had to make this reference, you know. And I have friends who have this tattoo, so it's kind of like a weird callback. You have it? Yeah, hell yeah.
The only time I wore a long sleeve on the podcast.
Right?
It's very similar to that. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're cousins. Oh yeah, and he's also smoking a cigarette.
He's smoking a cigarette.
Love that. Yeah. This one's called Thrown Off the High Horse. Like I have like a little title page or like how I refer to these books. This is also called the Skull Book.
Okay.
So
how long do these books last you before you fill them up?
Ooh, good question. So I've been slowly adding more and more pages, as much as the stapler can handle. Because I do like a carpentry stapler, and I like staple and then I like fix the prongs later, but I staple it on like an old book. So like it helps to like remove it after. It's a weird process, guys. I figured it out myself. But yeah, I have like these bunch of doodles, and I have like, sometimes I have only a couple words, like, you know, chopping dead ends. I'm just like, just decided that's going to be the whole page. But this one took, when I'm looking at my notes, because I kind of write down when I host. So May 2024 to February 2025.
Oh, okay.
So I recently finished this book. Yeah, this is another page.
Cool. And this is a poem?
Yeah, so...
is it always poems, or is it just anything?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I could try to see... I mean, recently it's been a lot more words, and, like, the spacing of words from a visual point of view. Oh, but this is a little leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, I do some, like... It's weird organic drawing, and the earlier books I have, like, way more drawings here. But let's see another one. There's one near the end.
Is that a pair of pants?
A pair of pants.
On this book?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll give you a little inspo about that one. But first, there's like weird dotted eyes and a drop. I don't know. Just breaking apart the lines. Like I think about lines a lot. I don't know if they can see it, but
maybe
it's very faint. But it's an eyeball and a teardrop. But like with writing, I only use pen. There's only pen, just one specific type of pen I use. It's like the Pilot V5 pen or something like that.
It's like a fancy pen.
Yeah, I mean, architecture, I went to art school and I had this pen, and architecture students were like, oh, I use that pen too. And I'm like, God, this is probably a really good pen. So I'm going to keep it. Yeah, I find me drawing, I think of it almost, it's funny, it's like, I think of drawing as if it's like words almost, like it's also simple, and it's not too complicated, and I don't know, it's funny how my approach to doodling has shifted with drawing more. But yeah, with this cover with the pants, I did a collage night with my friend Sydney Sweeney, who also is engaged in the arts community in amazing ways. We sometimes do craft night, and this is like a weird owl, but like it's bird feather things.
Okay, yep.
But it's not supposed to look like it's supposed to be an owl. It's supposed to be whatever it wants it to be. And here's another.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, the pants happened because, and like I have like weird other collage here.
Yep, okay.
So this book, I've recently titled it, it's called Walk Through the Portal. So he's like halfway through the portal.
Okay, cool.
But it kind of my books kind of reference my own personal, like what I'm going through right now. And month of March has been a very transitional period for me. And so like the idea of the portal and the concept of like walking through a space and like literally like transitioning. And there's something I read recently that was like, you walk through the portal and you have both hands open, one to let go and one to receive. During these transitional periods. So that's like in the back of my mind kind of throughout this book.
Okay, that's cool. Do you think you'd ever like scan them and print them and like do something with them like that?
So I definitely need to preserve. I have so many books, like sketchbooks and now pocket poems books. I probably have, I want to say 8 now.
Okay.
In the past, it's been 2 years. I made 8 books.
Okay.
What?
Do you scan them ever, like to back them up?
I take photos on my phone, like the worst way possible. But it is on my mind. I quite literally am thinking always about how I should apply for a residency to help document my work. So I have the time and the tools to like scan everything and like archive it and sort it out. Because yeah, over time, like the paper and the ink, I don't know, it might fade, it might bleed. I'm not sure how like the aging process will be. So having to preserve it, I think is something I need to think about.
It probably depends on the paper you're using, right?
It's funny, I'm using old Xerox paper my grandpa gave me.
Cool.
Like, yeah, it's like I said, I quite literally use found materials all the time, as much as I can.
That's okay. Mm-hmm. Who are some of your general like all around artist inspirations? Like they don't have to be poets.
Good question. I'm a fan of TikTok, so I browse TikTok, and it's amazing how much like creative talent and ideas that just like flow through that app.
Yeah, I've never like scrolled on it.
Well, that's the thing. You got to scroll enough, and then it gets really good, and then you won't be able to leave. Because TikTok knows me down to a T. So there's a lot of like inspo from other like creatives around the world. They'll just show me a random idea, like maybe someone's like walking along the sidewalk, and then they take a photo of something, I don't know, a mailbox, and then they like take it on Photoshop and add the texture and juxtapose it on something else, like I don't know, just something like random off the top of my head. And it inspires me to like do something else, like almost related.
Yep.
Just on like how they got that process, or even like people like screen printing or techniques. Like they show me a technique and I'm like, I could use that for next time for this, or I don't know. It's just TikTok really, I don't know. It shows me things I never knew I needed to Google. Like how could you Google something or search something you didn't know you needed to know?
Yeah.
TikTok just shows you and you're like, oh, that's great.
I like doing I haven't done it in a long time, but I have some really old photography books, and sometimes do I have any on the wall? No, I don't. But I would do I would take a cool. Actually, there's one up there. I'll do like a texture thing. So I take a photo, and then there's that's like a crumpled up piece of paper, so it makes it look like it's all whatever. And then I'll type like words on a typewriter, or take like weird like chemistry formulas from like the photography books and overlay it. That stuff's fun to do.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't do it. I haven't done it in a long time. But I've done like a few of them just for fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's cool doing different things sometimes. Like I've always, even though I just do photography, I like to like switch things up and, yeah, instead of just like printing the same, it's just like a photo in a frame all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you draw ever?
Mm-mm.
No?
I do not know how to draw. Which like sometimes it would be nice to know how to draw, because I could do something, especially like with like the tactile work, like my framing and stuff. Like it'd be cool to be able to draw, but no, I don't draw. I can take pictures and I can build picture frames.
Nice.
And that's it.
Hey, it's working. And podcast hosting.
And podcast hosting. Yeah. That's easy. But okay, so let's talk about toast. Mm-hmm. I guess we already talked about it a little bit. So is there like, what do you want to say about it? I know you like wanted to plug some things and kind of like talk about some stuff. So just like, you can go.
Yeah. I mean, Toast, open mic poetry, third Thursday of the month, usually April 17th is the next one. And if you count each calendar month, literally first Thursday, second Thursday, third, circle it. The third, usually, but follow us on social media. But I mean, the poetry community in Windsor is amazing, and I'm so glad I'm able to help facilitate that community and strengthen it. And I feel like there's going to be more and more exciting things, because as you saw last night, it was packed. There was so many people there, and we had 18 poets who performed last night. That's the max. I can't do any more than that. We'd be running out of time.
Because you do 2 hours, right?
Yes, 8 to 10, but like loosey-goosey. Like I started like 8:10 and ended at 10:10. Like that's fine. Yeah. But 2 hours and the attention span, like, I mean, people are actively listening. Like it is a very like the people in the audience. It's much of a.
It was silent at the front last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone listens. Like it's very such a different, I think, atmosphere compared to like just a general open mic with instruments or like bands or whatever. People like chat here and there, but like with poetry, yeah, everyone just like, it's silent. Like when I first performed, I noticed that silence.
It must be very scary.
It was very interesting. I've never heard fog this silent. Like when I first went on stage. I
opened the door and I was like, oh my God, it's quiet in here.
Yeah, but I said 18 poets, everyone's actively listening. And we got 4 new people who've never performed yet performing last night. And that's incredible to me. That's my goal, is to have, obviously, reoccurring people. They're the best. But having new people, it gives me an extra smile on my face, knowing that I'm able to provide that experience for them, because they're always so happy after they like go on stage. Like you said, that one guy who came up to us when we were chatting, he thanked me. And that's like, it just makes my whole day, week, month, everything.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's, you're getting like, you're doing this thing, and like not everybody's going to come up to you and say that. So like for every person that does say that, like there's a bunch of other people that feel that too, like that gratitude for, being able to do that. Like I found that too, like sometimes you're too shy to like actually go thank them, but you're still feeling that way. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to definitely add on and say, like, if anyone's curious about poetry and are nervous, don't be nervous. It is very welcoming. Like, open mic poetry is for all skill levels, and open mic poetry as a concept is for people to test their poems and see how the audience is reacting. And in theory, you test it out open mic and then perform in slam poetry. Some people don't really know the difference, but slam poetry is a ticketed event with judges and usually like prize at the end. So scoring would be involved, but open mic poetry is like that step back. Like, hey, let's test out this material, all skill levels, it's free. So it's a lot more, not as intimidating. A lot of people immediately think of slam when they think of poetry. It's like, you guys can show up anytime. You can show up 8:30, you can show up later. Just like chill and listen and snap or clap, and yeah.
Have you ever done slam poetry yourself?
Yes, I did. Actually, like last year in Detroit, Aretha Cafe. It was such a beautiful, or Aretha Jazz Bar. It was a jazz cafe. It was in the Detroit's beautiful. It was a beautiful building, and actually Benny was participating in the contest as well, and I wanted to just challenge myself, and I wanted to also see how like the format was for slam, because I'd been hosting a bit previously before doing slam for the first time, and it was a little nerve-wracking, but I was more excited to listen to the Detroit poets, and also there was some out of town because there was prize money involved. So of course people made their journey. And it was just hearing the people's poems was incredible. And I took it so literally where I didn't want to read off my paper. I usually do for open mic because those poems are so new. But I memorized my poems. But I write more short form poetry. I guess that's a easy way to say it. So my poems aren't traditionally slam material, although I could push it there. I do have some that I could. My goal was just to memorize and deliver without reading. I knew I wasn't going to win. There was so much amazing people. It was more for me, and I enjoyed it. It was such a great experience.
Do most of them memorize it when they're doing those competitions?
It was half and half, but I found I was more engaged as an audience member listening to someone who like didn't have that paper, although it's still very effective. I mean, some people still glance. Like there's not like it wasn't a rule, but I found people who have memorized it. I don't know. There's like that extra element. So I really wanted to get there with my work, and that was my challenge. Next time I might have to stretch my poems, have a longer one, and then have this book to my side, and reference it if I need it.
Are there ever any slam events in Windsor, or would you ever consider hosting one?
So Toast originally did open mic and slam before the pandemic happened, and since it's kind of been on pause. But guys, I'm in the works. I think we're gonna start something soon.
Would you do that on a different night, or like maybe only like once or twice a year or something?
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be. I think I'm gonna start maybe once a year or twice a year. I'm feeling September. September seems like a good time to do it. September Slam. I don't know. You guys heard it here.
That's cool.
Yeah, I would do it probably. Set it up maybe in a different location, because I know I want the judges table to be on stage. So I need a stage that can hold that. Fog is too small. We can barely fit a drum set.
You could do like Meteor. You can just go
that honestly, that was like easy. A venue that came to mind. I know Ian, so I know he'd probably be really happy with that. It could be like a Thursday or Friday or Saturday, probably a Thursday or Friday. Trying to space it around so I can get people for the open mic and announce it, and then like the next week or the week after, then that's like the slam, like so then people are kind of,
they can like warm up for it.
Yeah, like that's kind of like how I'm visualizing it, but it's definitely like with the reception I've gotten with open mic poetry, it's definitely, I feel like slam is like the next step for sure.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That sounds fun. Your post on Instagram, like when you do the poster for like every month for the toast, do you draw those things?
Signs? I do freelance work, and so I have a Canva Pro account, and Canva it really helps because having the free version, they limit everything. You can't do anything. So I have like unlimited like fonts and graphics and stuff, and like templates I use. So I literally go on Canva. It's something I do for my freelance job anyways, so it's like not as much of a jump. So yeah, I do design the posters myself, and I made the logo for Toast.
How much is Canva Pro?
So, good question. It's like the person I work for mostly it's like that's the situation. I don't actually pay for it, but I think like they tried to raise it. I feel like it's like maybe 150 a year.
Oh, you pay for a year.
I think that sounds almost right, but I have no clue.
150 a year, like $20 a month or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I feel
15
like
a month.
they tried to raise. They like gave an email out. And they're like, we're gonna raise it or something, and then my boss was like, I'm gonna cancel this. I was like, no. So that's like maybe something, maybe my posters will look dramatically different in a year, and you guys will find out when I don't have Canva Pro anymore.
Canva's really nice. Like I use it to bang out quick posts and ads all the time.
Exactly. That's the thing. I am trained in Photoshop, but that's what the difference is Canva is quick, and sometimes you can't be meticulous on your things. You really just got to like get a poster out and get people aware so they could start writing poetry. So
yeah, like I used Canva, like just the free thing to do something yesterday for a post, and then I threw it into Photoshop and finished it all up. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, I've done that a couple times too.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't even have like the paid Photoshop. I have like Photopea.
Okay.
It's literally called Photo and then PEA.
Yeah.
And it's a browser. You just Google it, and it's literally like the old before Photoshop. It's like not the full capabilities.
You don't have like any of like the AI stuff in it.
No, that's correct.
Okay.
It's old school. It literally looks like Photoshop 2012. Like it's like before they started making you guys pay, Adobe.
Photoshop's only $10 a month, I think, though.
Is it? Okay, I'm so cheap. I just was like, I also have a vendetta. I like a grudge against Adobe that I'm like, I am not paying for any of this.
I need it for work.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I was paying like over 50 for years because I need everything. Like I just have the whole thing. And then I saw that they were running a deal, and I just like reached out and I was like, you guys had this deal like a month ago. And they're like, yeah, you can have it. So now I only pay like 24 for everything.
I need that. That sounds incredible.
Yeah. Like how I sent you that contract for this. Like that's Adobe because I pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was fancy.
It's very nice to like send out all my contracts and stuff to all my clients. Like they can just e-sign it. And you can like, I can select all the fields you have to fill in. Easy peasy. But yeah, I use everything. Like on a day, like today I used Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, Audition, and that PDF thing. And that's pretty much every single day. Yeah, it's nice. Adobe's nice because they all work together. Like I was like the video I was making in Premiere, like I had to edit a picture that I put in it, but all I did was just go back into Lightroom, made the edit, saved it, and then it just like automatically does it in Premiere.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. Okay, do you have any plans for shows coming up, like visual shows? Like showing your work?
Oh, yeah. Actually, funny enough, I was talking to Ian from Meteor about having some of my paintings at Meteor, because Meteor hasn't done like installation ever.
Ever?
No.
Wow.
And like, so I was talking to Ian, like, can we make this happen? So that might be something coming up. I have so many paintings in my basement from art school that I'm probably gonna call the show like Art School Archives. Because I have interesting things that I don't have space for anymore, unfortunately. But in terms of other practice, I mean, that's something down the line. Maybe I apply to an art residency and I get locked in on developing the photo books, but maybe from like a larger scale, like I combine fiber art, so maybe like literally like the words embroidered on, like that kind of thing, or painting. I'm kind of seeing that happen, but nothing finalized it's all just in my head.
What there were so many pieces in the show that I don't remember. 2 months ago when you were in the locals only show we had, what did you put in that? What were your pieces? What medium were they?
Yeah, so I took it quite literally. I did my photography, and then like I said, when I the digital collage kind of aspect of work. So I showcased Waste of Time, so the food series, but just the food, like the advertisement, so the food and the watch, not like the extra step. I just did that tiny little 4x6, and then a newer series, which is called Punk Hearts, where that was a digital collage, and it's actually samples of pictures from the internet. And then so I used like a doily, like a lace doily, and then I added like a nice texture to it, and then I added a punk logo, and then lyrics to that the band, like let's say. I'm trying to think of a word that, a title that doesn't have a swear word in it. Black Flag.
You can swear if you want.
Okay. Black Flag has a song called Fix Me, and that just like that word just seems like a heart, those heart candies.
Yeah.
So I did like a doily with Fix Me and then the logo. So it's like, but then I made it grainy. So it's like the juxtaposition between like a feminine and masculine kind of look. Yep. And like, I just wanted to juxtapose that because it was in my head, and I was like, I want this to happen. I want this on paper. And then the other one, Misfits, the Misfits logo, and then the words angel fuck with the doily. And I don't know, I find it hilarious. So I sold that too. And then I had 2 other photos I took in 2018 of, I did a series called, I forget what it was called. It was photos of the punk. Oh, it was probably the punk scene of Southern Ontario. So it was like a documentary photography class I took where I followed around some bands from Windsor, but mostly I followed the band called Feedbacks, which is no longer active right now, but they kind of play American Airport Sushi. Like they play some Feedback songs. Like most of them were from the Feedbacks, but when they were the Feedbacks, I like took photos when they were performing, and then they were in Toronto, and then I took photos when they were at the Bovine, which was super cool. But I displayed a photo from one of the nights they performed in front of Villains, and then it was I focused specifically on the quiet moments of the music show. So like when the bands were changing their instruments, or people outside, like those quiet moments I was like really interested in.
Yeah, I like that stuff too.
Yeah, so I had one from Villains, and then another one outside of Fog, outside. So I had to, because we were in Fog. I was like, I have to show a print of Fog. Yeah,
a lot of people try to do Fog things. Like my friend, my best friend was in the show, and he doesn't even make art that much, but he'll just like do it for the show. And he's the one who did like the old like 1950s sign, but it was like Fog. I don't know if you remember that, but that was really cool. Those ones, like if you do something like that, they always sell.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Surprisingly, all my not surprisingly, I mean, I got a lot of feedback from the Waste of Time series that sold out. Yeah, which is incredible. And then one of the Punk Hearts was sold as well. And then I think Costa, who works at Villains, he wanted to buy the print from Villains too. So nice. Yeah, I mean, once you have like that personal connection with the Windsor downtown community, you can't go wrong, you know?
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm glad you sold a bunch of stuff. That's why we do them, because they're fun.
Yeah, thank you for organizing that. That was my first time participating, and it was like amazing. Like the whole show and the installation, like the fact that we installed our works with jazz music, so hammering. There's like hammering and then the jazz music. I was like, this is so experimental. I love it.
Yeah, that worked out well. That was very nice. Yeah, that was super fun. Yeah, the hanging night's always a blast too.
It is, yeah.
I have a couple of drinks and like everybody just chills. Yeah, I'll do another one. I don't know, probably next year. Sometimes I do like 2 in 1 year. It just kind of like depends on how things are going, I guess, and you know, like what's going on. But I'm doing art in the park this year, so that's like a crazy big undertaking. Yeah,
hopefully it doesn't rain.
I did it 2 years ago, and it was great the whole time. So
good.
I hope so, because that's a big waste of money if it rains.
That's the thing about art in the park. It usually always does.
2 years ago, it was hot as hell. The whole weekend was crazy. A bunch of people like passed out. It was like too hot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was like a few times like paramedics were in there. And, but hopefully, like, Yeah, hopefully it's nice. I hope so. Because it's like, to do it isn't that much money. Like, it's whatever. But like, to make all that work is a lot of time and money.
And if it gets damaged, yeah, that would be not good.
And that's the only booth I do. I don't really do them anymore. So like, if I don't sell them there, like that's, I'm not like, I don't do other booths, and nothing moves quantity like Art in the Park does.
That's so true.
Like, it's, it's pretty crazy. And I already know that I'm not doing Art in the Park next year because I have a wedding to shoot, which is why I didn't do it last year, because I had a wedding to shoot. So it's just like, I can only do them if I'm off. So, but it's really fun though. Have you ever done it?
I've been, I think when I was younger, Julia Conlon, they taught watercolor classes as a kid, and I'm sure other visual art classes, but there's a booth where they show their paintings, like their watercolor paintings, and then whoever they taught. So there would be 2 tents that she has. So when I was like 10 or 11, and so I think I had it twice, where I had my little paintings on display.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a pretty crazy time.
Yeah. Oh, but in terms of like other involvements, Art by the River in Amherstburg, what was it? 2019? Something like that, where there was a live painting contest. And so it was like the university, St. Clair, and like, I don't know. So there was like students from different programs. So I went with a classmate of mine to do this live painting, and the theme was like Canada or something of the sorts. But anyways, the weather was so bad. It was so windy and raining, and thankfully we had a tent, but like it was just chaos everywhere. So like me and my friend decided to just embrace the chaos, and we added like literally leaves to our painting, because we were like, hey guys, like, it's here, like, might as well like capture the moment, right? It's a live painting.
Yeah.
We came in last. honestly, coming in last is not as much of a disappointment than coming in like 3rd or 2nd, because it was like, oh, so I kind of was getting there, but being last is like, oh no, I was just so cool, you guys.
Yeah, it was just like your own thing.
Yeah,
completely.
Exactly. So I actually took it as a compliment.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. Do you have any other shows coming up like this year that you're doing, or anything that your pieces are going in the foreseeable future? I always participate when Art Windsor Essex does Pride exhibitions. I usually submit some work there, and there's always Pagination, Windsor Public Library, Pagination. It's a long word. It's like one of those withering enjambment words. Yeah.
But there's like local zines that I participate and submit poetry in, so that's always something. Cool. I never know until I like just decide to do it. So I wish I could tell you what's coming up, but Toast Open Mic Poetry is definitely coming up April 17th.
That seems to be like your main big focus right now.
I mean, to be fair, it takes up more time than people think. Like, I have to, like, now that it's done, I have like a week grace period before I have to start thinking about the poster and the prompt for, April 17th, like the next time it comes around. So people need enough notice ahead of time. So it's like, it's always kind of on my mind, definitely.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Sounds super fun. It's nice to do things like get you more into the community, like whatever it is too, right?
Oh yeah, I meet amazing people through Toast. Oh, it's incredible. Like I said, people come up to me and kind of connect with me more when we talk about poetry compared to, fine arts. So
it's nice that it's a monthly, like, reoccurring thing as well.
Yeah, it's always, that's how you, like, the sense of community with that monthly occurrence, it's very strong. Like, there is always the familiar faces I can count on. There's always the first 3 people. Like, I mentioned that one guy first, but there's usually like 3 people who are always first, second, and third. And I love that.
So yeah, like you said, you have the same guy opens every single time. Mm-hmm. Is there a lot of other people that are there every single week too? Yeah.
Like Sweet Insanity, who's usually number 2, and Doke, who's number 3. Like, literally every time. They usually show up most, but like Less is More shows up like all the time and has been the longest. So got to give him a shout out. But there is always like those reoccurring people who, I mean, not every month, but like maybe 6 or 7 times out of the year, they're there.
Is it common for people to like have like a name that they write under, like a pen name, I guess?
Yeah. So like Less is More, his name's Leslie, and he's like, don't call me that. And then Sweet Insanity, her name's Mel. So there's some, but most people go by their first name. But when I do talk to someone for the first time, I say, do you have a pen name or a poetic name or a stage name?
Do you?
No, it's just Emily Rowe or M Rowe or Emily or I don't know if I would. Maybe I could create a little alternative identity and
It like writes different poems, maybe.
Under a new name. Yeah, I might be able to start doing that. But yeah, not as much unique names as you might expect. I guess a lot of people just say, "Oh, just write my first name down." But it's also a way for me to find out what their first name is too when I ask that question, because sometimes I don't know.
I hate knowing people's names. It's the worst.
But it's a really good way for me to, get the ball rolling. Do you have a stage name? No, just put first name down. I'm like, nice.
When you were a photo lab tech at the U, so like, what did you do there? Like, what was your kind of duties?
Like I said, I had many photography projects, but in terms of my involvement, but then once I graduated, even during my business school, I was working for the university under the fine arts. But in the digital print lab, I worked there for one semester. It was in transition, they closed since the pandemic, and then I picked it up right after. So I had to be like, what's the inventory like? How's the conditions? How can we budget? Because they wanted my business experience as well as my already previous background of handling the equipment. But I helped print school projects. So there'd be 3 different photography classes, and I'd know when their projects are due, and the students would have to schedule time to print with me.
Okay.
So then they can learn about the digital print experience, and then we can go through it together. And I just help facilitate their projects being printed, and so they can have a better understanding of the screen to the print, because it's definitely an interesting transition, or you have to make tweaks. You can't. I mean, you're lucky if you get the first print right. You kind of sometimes have to go back and be like, that color is so weird. Why does it look like that? So
yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, getting things from a computer screen, every computer screen looks different too. So that's a whole other process.
Exactly. And even how long your monitor's been on for. So if you just start your monitor, the colors aren't fully accurate anymore. As much as if you've left your monitor on for 30 minutes, then it might be more accurate. So it's those kind of things, and also the color of the walls. So digital print labs are usually white or gray, and you usually should wear neutral colors too. Because if you're wearing a bright orange T-shirt, the reflection on the screen might actually influence your perceptions of editing.
Yep.
So it's so detail oriented. It's very nitty gritty.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. I have blue light lenses in my glasses to just help me with the computer all day, but it does shift the color slightly too.
You can't wear them, unfortunately, when you're editing. Yeah, it's the worst. I have it's called Flux. Is it called Flux? It's this old extension on my computer where during the time of day it changes. It becomes more orange.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So then and then when I have to hit the command to end it, I'm always to edit. I'm no, it's so bright.
They have that thing, and it goes on your screen to calibrate your color.
Yeah, it's called. Was it Photo Monkey, or there's a couple. There's there's a spider one or a monkey device. But yeah, you literally place a device over it, and it reads the monitor.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it flashes the colors. Yeah, it's calibrating the monitor. Yeah, I've done that so many times.
Yeah. I should do that.
Yeah, right. I mean, you do have every couple months, pretty much. Yeah, and if you reset your computer, if you have the systems update, good luck.
That changes everything.
Yeah, usually I remember the university. They're don't update the computers. We're always a step behind because everything would, there can be chaos. You never know, so you might as well not update it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because there's always so many things going on. Mm-hmm. I teach at the college, a photography class, and there's a big thing on the wall, and it says you can't upload or you can't use the computer's OneDrive under your account because all the users are under the same storage, even though it's on your account. Mm-hmm. And just always things like that. Don't do this to the computer. Don't do that to the computer. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is funny.
Uh-huh. But another fun creative project with the university. So I did, the computer and the digital print lab stuff, but I also worked in community embroidery projects. So like fiber arts and sewing. So like quite literally like almost the opposite with, I mentioned Professor Catherine Hurd. So I did that for 2 years. It was called Redwork Emperor of Atlantis. So we helped teach people how to embroider with red thread. And then we made a community quilt by the end of it.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. You would have loved Fashion Week. You definitely got to come next year.
Yeah. Was there like a quilt or embroidery?
There was just like a lot of sewing.
Oh, yeah. I imagine.
You know, it was cool.
Was it live sewing contest? Like people were sewing on stage? Oh,
but like just like the first night was like every designer had one of their designs like on a mannequin, so you could like get like up close and personal with it. And then last night, most designers had about 6 models, like 6 outfits, was probably like the average number. It was just so cool to like see everything.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was nuts.
Oh, yeah.
The person who went last actually won, and they were from Kingsville, Windsor. Like they were local, which was nice. Because I think that there was 6 designers and 5 were from Windsor, but 1 was from Detroit, and the one from Detroit was really, really good. And I thought that they were gonna win, but then this last girl came out and hers was really, really good. Everybody was really, really good. But no, it was nice that I was like, I thought the Detroit girl might win, and everybody's like, well, it's nice a Windsor person won for like the first year, and I was like, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I should definitely check it out. Yeah, because you guys looked amazing, and like when Toasta was happening and then the fashion was ending, it was like so many amazing people like passing by, and thankfully some of them came, and I was like, you guys look amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you looked sharp yesterday.
I've never gone to Fog in a tuxedo before, that's for sure.
It probably felt great, actually. You're like, everyone else underdressed.
Like I've worn some very chill clothes at Fog before, so to be there in a tuxedo was very weird.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, funny outfits. In October there's like clown night that happens at Meteor and Fog. So I remember being a clown at Fog, which wasn't too far off, actually, for how I usually dress. It
was like the Saturday before Halloween this year, and I went to Fog just with like one of my cameras and shot just like random people. I was just taking pictures of everybody there, and that was fun. That was a fun night.
Definitely. The clown is, I think, my most crazy outfit at Fog. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll do themes that go with like the time of year. Like you did a Halloween theme in October, right?
Yeah.
So how, like, what is the theme for that? Like, what was the rules for that one? Like, how does that work?
Ooh, it was probably October was eerie eulogies or eulogies. It's just a funny word. It's like a eulogy, but it's like a poetic version, so it's pronounced slightly differently. So that's why I said it twice, and I'm probably right one of the times. But I also am a very I find like the change of seasons to be very important, and I feel like poetically, I feel like people write differently in the spring versus the winter, or like even now with the time change happening, showing up to Fog and it's still daylight, and starting Toast daylight. It was like it's a different energy.
Yeah.
So I kind of like I keep that in mind, like how people's month has probably been, what is coming up. I feel like I said, like influences people's creative writing opportunities. So yeah, I do like to have like a seasonal theme always, as much as I can. That's why Withering and Jam Mints was in March, like the winds and like change, and March is like astrologically, like Aries is like the first zodiac sign of the cycle.
Okay.
So it's like quite literally the beginning of the year. I know they say January is, but guys, it's March. But I am also very into like astrology. My roommate, Dom, is really into astrology. So I've learned a lot from them. So I take that almost like that spiritual insight as part of the inspiration for my prompts as well.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Nice. I always feel like I'm more inspired and create better work in the winter months. It's like gloomier and darker, and I'm just like in here by myself, like making work, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something like nighttime, stillness, darkness. Yeah, it can inspire.
Summer's too happy to make good art.
Yeah, I'm too busy being distracted about other things.
Yeah, like I've never been inspired like after like being at a pool in the sun, like to like make something like meaningful, you know, like it's got to be like a snowstorm or something.
Right? You can't be content making art.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be a little pissed off.
Yeah. You have to be a little uncomfortable or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sad or, you know.
There's growth in being uncomfortable. Like, I feel like that's how like I like honed in my creative practice or been so consistent with it is constantly being uncomfortable. Throughout my life. I've had like the urge to like share my voice but not know how to articulate it, and it's so funny now hosting a poetry open mic, thinking about my journey and how I was able to find more of my voice through like the creative expression and art journey I've had.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I am done with all my jots of points. Is there anything else that you like want to say or mention or like, you know?
We've definitely had a really great conversation. I definitely want to thank you for considering me to be on this amazing podcast, showcasing amazing creative Windsor people. Your people you've already had as guests, I've admired, and I'm so happy to be, like I said, a part of contributing to this amazing thing.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on. I'm glad we plugged the hell out of Toast. Well, you got to plug yourself though. Like, where can people find you?
Yes, my website is emilyrowe.ca. I'm going to keep that domain name for the as long as I can, really. And then on Instagram, ehm.roe. That's where I post my fine arts practice, and also you will see Toast kind of being promoted, but you can follow Toast at Toast Open Mic Poetry on Instagram. April 17th is the next one. So follow me on social media on either accounts, and you'll find out the updates and the theme for the month. Where else can you find me? You can find me downtown, usually on like a Thursday. That's a really good bet for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll probably put this out like about, I don't know, probably like a week or a week and a half before the 17th. So just like a perfect amount of time. So
I love that. Yeah, I'll share it with everyone who's willing to listen to us talk.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Perfect.
That was great.
Yeah, thanks again.
I have no clue how long that was.
It was 1 hour and 22 minutes.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.